everybody, this is Mike from the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I am playing Darkest Dungeon. I'm going to do a early solo playthrough, and I might get around to reviewing this one in the next few days. We'll see how much I'm enjoying playing it more. And no disclaimer for this one, my friend had a copy and I asked if I could borrow it and he said no, and we had an epic duel. It's possible he is dead now, but hey, at least I get to do a playthrough. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month. I've got about 30 of them up there now. You can also check out our separate streaming channel for even more content, listen to our weekly podcast, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So Darkest Dungeon is based on the video game of the same name, which I've played a bit, but not a ton. And you have a team at one time of 4 characters like the Highwayman you see here. And each of them starts out with a deck of 7 ability cards, and at first you can only equip 3 of them. You also have a stress track, which is basically invisible. Good job, Mythic Games, making one of the darkest boards I've seen. But it starts over here, and as this progresses, we might basically go more and more insane. And we've got some combat stats here that'll come into play when we get into fighting. But the first part of the game is actually wandering around this little set of rooms, moving your little scouting token with all of you together. As you explore rooms, you'll be rolling these negative dice to have little things you have to deal with on the way. You'll be spending these provision dice to deal with those or to suffering negative effects. And then once you get into some rooms with combat, you'll put your units' little miniatures on them and go into a tactical miniature battle against enemies that will last up to 4 rounds. And once you've decided that going insane and getting stabbed aren't too fun, you'll adjourn back to the hamlet where you can spend the money you've earned to heal, to get your stress back, to level up your characters with experience you get from completing quests in the dungeon, and then you rinse and repeat. And in the full campaign, you have 2 basic dungeons, then you fight a boss. You repeat that cycle of 2 dungeons, then a boss 3 times. Then you go into the darkest dungeon. If you can survive the boss there, then you win the whole campaign. But each of the little sets of dungeon delves has its own kind of nice arc to it. So let's get in and see how everything goes. So I do have to set a starting order for my characters. So this is straight out of the video game. So we've got one person in sort of like the rearmost support slot. We've got somebody in sort of the rear range combat slot. And then like the defender and the person taking point. In this case, I've got the Crusader, the Hellion, the Highwayman, and the Vestal. And they're basically in order of hit points in this one. The Crusader has the most at 17, Hellion 14, both of them 12. And I've also rolled 8 dice to start out. We rolled a ton of torches, which is both good and bad. And 1 shovel, 1 set of bandages, 1 set of food, and 1 potion. And these will again be used to both avoid negative effects in the dungeon, but they can also be used for one-off effects like increasing our light level or healing poison or bandaging away bleeding, that kind of stuff. Now, additionally, to show it briefly, in each of the 3 levels of the dungeon, you're going to randomly get a boss. Here, I got the Collector randomly. But we're not going to fight this guy until we've done 2 regular dungeon delves. And again, I'm not going to show more than 1 today. But the boss also has an ongoing effect for when you're in the dungeon and for when you're in the hamlet. In this case, taken away. You don't draw curio cards in curio rooms, which is actually kind of a positive and a negative because curio cards often do bad things to you, but you can prevent that with torches. So it's kind of unfortunate that I have this boss and a ton of torches. Not a great synergy there. And when we get back to the hamlet, missing artifacts, the actions on the Nomad wagon is always blocked. So you can't go to one of the locations in the hamlet to take actions. Now, each time you go down into the dungeon, you're going to draw 2 quest cards and keep 1. And there's some flavor text and stuff, but the key thing is it might have special rules. It's going to determine which type of rooms are available for you to explore in the dungeon. And the big thing is it's going to tell you how to get experience. Every 2 experience lets you level up one of your action cards. Every 4 lets you level up your hero entirely and gain a bunch of benefits. So this one is basic, scout ahead. It's 1 experience for every 2 rooms I clear. And this one is missing threat, 1 experience for each curio room I clear. And both of them have the potential for 3 experience overall. And this one says, curio rooms always have battles. When spawning monsters in curio rooms, draw 1 level 2 monster. That sounds tough, but I thought it might be more fun to see a more challenging combat. And it's fun to have curio rooms when they literally do nothing and don't actually have any curios in them. So looking at the rooms, I'm going to have 1 guarded treasure room, 1 basic guarded lair, 3 guarded curio rooms with no curios in them because of my boss, and 1 darkness room and 2 empty rooms. So those have all been mixed up in the dungeon, and we're going to go exploring. And one thing that is relevant right now is our light level. It starts at the highest level 5, which is going to give all of the heroes +1 dodge if we get attacked by things. Okay, so before we move on, and the only place we can move is to that room, we can decide if we want to scout ahead or not. Scouting ahead is automatically going to increase the stress level of all of our heroes by 1, which doesn't do anything by itself, but if it gets all the way to the end, we're going to roll a die and probably get a negative card. And then if we go all the way up to 10 again while we have that negative card, then you die for good. But the good thing about scouting ahead is first you get to see what the adjacent rooms are. Doesn't matter too much when it's just one way to go, but still useful. And additionally, normally each character will roll 2 of these negative dice, but if you scout ahead, you each roll 1 instead. So yes, you get 1 stress, but you're guaranteed to not have as much bad stuff happen to you. But I'm going to choose not to scout ahead this first time because, again, there's only one way to go and I don't care. Let's see what we get. So technically, all 4 players, if we were controlling each individual hero, would roll at once. But then they get resolved in reverse order. I didn't want to keep track of a bunch of dice, so I'm just rolling 2 black dice, 1 at a time. So the Crusader rolled a cup and a pile of bones, which is actually a curio. Good, we can use a torch for that. And rubble. And we can choose the order we'll do them in. So we'll do the curio first. And we'll draw one of these curio cards, which have a mix of good and bad abilities. I find they're usually bad. So I'm going to spend a torch, and what that does is it means that every bad effect on the curio card is ignored, only the good effects are going to happen. And they have a bit of flavor text. It's a bit repetitive, but let's see. A chest with the family's sigil. You feel your heart pounding in your chest, and as you open it, a poisonous mist is sprayed on you. In it, there are some provisions. So what do we get? We would have gotten +1 stress, but because we use the torch, we don't get any of that. Oh my gosh. We would have gotten a negative red card. And yeah, I forget what the actual names of a lot of these cards are, but these ones stay with you and usually give you negative ways to gain stress, like when certain actions happen, so it's lovely not to get those. And also, if you get 4 of these on a character, you die. So we would have gotten a disease card too, give me a break, but hey, we get to roll 1 die back. So we basically spent the torch to get maybe another torch. Or, ooh, a wild. What do I not have too much of? I guess I'll get, I don't know, another shovel. So that was a curio die, and then this one is rubble. I need to either use the tool, the shovel, or I take 1 damage per dungeon level. We're on dungeon level 1, so just 1, and I gain 1 stress. And this is my Crusader with the highest 17 health, so sure, we'll just gain the stress. Although note, remember how we could have chosen to scout ahead and taken 1 stress instead? So 1 damage and 1 stress is clearly worse than just 1 stress. All right, let's see a few more of these results, and then we'll hurry through this. Hellion, we got nothing, and hunger, 1 food or suffer 2 damage. We'll just take the damage. My Vestal character has very good healing abilities, and even my Crusader has a bit, so as long as we don't take like serious amounts of damage, we should be okay. Okay, that was the Hellion. The Highwayman gets, okay, another one of the shovel ones. And a trap, this one's actually a pretty good one. We can consume a tool or ignore it to roll an attack. Now here's how attacks work. You'll see more of these in the battle. They have, all attacks have a crit value and accuracy value. You roll a single d10. And if it's less than or equal to the crit value, you resolve that, in this case 4 damage per dungeon level. If it's not less than or equal to the crit value, but is less than or equal to the accuracy value, which is modified by your dodge, then it's 2 damage per level. And if it's, in this case, a 9 or 10, it's nothing. But the Highwayman has 1 dodge right here. And remember, because we have 5 torch level, we have +1 more dodge. So we've got 2 dodge. So in this case, the accuracy is actually a 6. The crit remains a 2. That doesn't change. So if you roll a 6, or what is it, a 3 to 6, we'll take 2 damage. A 1 or 2 will take 4 damage. On a 7, 8, 9, or 10, we will take no damage. I'll take them odds. Oh, a crit. It's not what I wanted. That's 4 damage. Maybe this will be the game of watch Mike die before he even reaches a room. I mean, after that, I kind of feel like using the shovel to not have him take a damage and a stress, because that ouchied. And here we go. The Vestal, nothing. And the Hunger, a food or 2 health. Again, she's very good at healing, so 2 damage is not going to bother me too much. And with that, we have made it to the first room. And what is it? It is absolutely nothing. So it is not a darkness room or a trap room, which unfortunately stays on the board and like you have to keep on going through and suffering the consequences. It is just an empty room, which means it's immediately cleared. And the nice thing is with cleared rooms, you can backtrack to them. You have to take 1 stress for each character for each backtracking you do, but you can move through them without rolling the dice. So like if I go here and then here, I could, at the cost of 2 stress, go boop, boop, and get right back there. And I didn't mention this, but you can run out of the dungeon, like at the end of any of your turns. You don't have to actually like have a path back to safety or anything. All right, well, clearing the empty room does absolutely nothing for me. I got to find the curio room. So I do think I want to go left and down. But you know what? Let's scout this time. So everyone takes a stress. And again, like it's hard to emphasize in person. I don't know how they look on screen, how invisible these tracks are. I'm not going to do it because it's not my copy, but I fully recommend anyone that gets the game to like take a silver Sharpie or something and actually draw these in so anyone can see them. Good Lord. But that stress means we're only going to roll one black die and we get to see what's waiting for us. That is a treasure room with combat, but no experience opportunities. Ooh, and there's our first curio room, which will actually get us one experience for conquering. Now, defeating the treasure room will get us an automatic 20 gold. 20 gold is nothing to sneeze at because it's going to give us access to great actions in the hamlet. Like, for example, you know how we're getting all the stress? Look, for 3 gold going to the tavern, you can get rid of 6 stress in one shot. So 20 gold can buy a lot of beers, apparently. Which makes me think about going to that one. But, I mean, there's a chance that this is nothing. How much of a chance? Let's be saved by probability. We've got one more empty room. We've got a trap room, which is terribly bad. We've got a darkness room. So that's 3. And we've got 2 more curio rooms. So there's a 3 out of 5 chance that this room is nothing but pain. But I guess that's true for all of these. Or whatever, I want some treasure, and let's show you some combats. We're going to go this way, rolling 1 black die per character. And just to briefly talk about the one we didn't see yet, the stressful darkness one, this torch, need to either consume a torch, or gain 2 stress for that character, or lose 1 light level. And when we're down to level 4 or 3, everybody gets +1 to their crits for all attacks, which is both good and bad, but you lose that +1 dodge from the 5. When you're down to 2 and 1, in addition to the crit effect, so these all add up, even though this one does not. In addition to the crit effect, anytime any hero takes 1 stress, they take another one, yikes. And then if you go all the way down to 0, every monster has +1 accuracy and +1 dodge. So, you don't want that. But I will note that both the skills for the Vestal and the Crusader I took allow us to regain light. So I don't mind letting maybe 1 or 2 of those things go. All right, Crusader, you are, what is that? That's the dig out or take a stress and a damage. We'll just take the stress and damage. Again, the stress being a bigger deal since we don't have an easy way to heal it. Okay, the Hellions got another curio. Let's definitely use a torch to make that not the worst one because those are terrible. And it's a stack of books. So actually 2 good effects this time and 2 bad. Would have gotten 1 stress, would have gotten a red card. We're skipping all of those. Now this is a buff token, and you're going to see this for a few things, both like negative effects like poison and such, and for positive things like this. This means we're going to put 2 tokens on top of each other, meaning that that's what lasts for the next 2 rounds, although you discard a token each time you start a round, so really it means he's going to have a single turn of benefiting from the buff. Or sorry, I should say she, the Hellion, is a lady, so I'm going to put this little stack of 2 tokens on top of her, and basically at the start of each turn, you discard 1 token from the top of each stack. But here's the cool part, she's going to get a trinket. So trinkets are special things. At level 1, each character can only hold 1 of them, but they can pass them around to other heroes. So it starts out on its positive side, which says I would have to activate this before I do an attack. I would have to be in the front, which the Hellion certainly is not. So she might just give this to the Crusader. Okay, so it's +2 accuracy before they attack. But then what you do is you flip it to its negative side, and you can choose to use this again on a future attack, accuracy -1 in this case, and then it gets flipped back over, so you can basically choose to gain a positive use of it again. But additionally, it flips back to its good side whenever you get to the hamlet. And yeah, no good reason to have the Hellion keep this when she is in the wrong position, so we'll have the Crusader hold on to that. That was an actually positive thing, thanks to the torch. Okay, Highwaymen. We got another curio cred. I really don't want to deal with these, so yeah, I'm going to use another torch. We found a sarcophagus. Oh my gosh, this would have been +1 stress, 1 bleeding for 3 turns. That means for the next 3 turns, once you get into combat, all these things just kind of hang out until combat. He would have taken 1 damage at the start of each turn for 3 turns in a row. Although using a single bandage died anytime we get rid of all bleeding on a character. And a disease card, and 10 gold. That's the positive part. Yay! And gold, I already mentioned to use in the hamlet. This is a shared resource. We've got 20 of it now because you start with 10. All right, Investo, please roll something that does not use one of our dice. Hey, a nothing! Let's go! And with that, we are on to the treasure room, baby. And that's great because it means we're going to have a battle. Let's show you how the battles work. So I'm going to draw a random one of these roomed cards. The Spiked Pit does not sound nice. It's got some special effect text, but first let's find tile number 4. And now the room is going to determine the starting position of my characters. It's divided up into little spaces. And that's based on their positions. So the Crusader is right here, the Hellion and Highwayman right there, the Vestal by herself over there. I don't love that. Okay, then looking at the card itself. Okay, so there's A and B spaces. B being both of these spiked horror shows here, and A being this little circular altar here. It says Circle of Power. Monsters standing on the altar at the end of their turn get 4 healing. Not bad. Doesn't help us at all. Spike Pits. Heroes and monsters that are pulled or pushed onto these spaces, or standing here at the end of their turn, take 3 damage and suffer 1 bleeding for 3 turns. Now, the fun thing is that the monsters have no AI that makes them do either of those, so they're entirely at our mercy if we can make them just decide that they want to be there. We'll see how that goes. And you'll see that there are also spaces to indicate where the monsters go. Oh, I see. They want to start on that, don't they? But first, we need to find out who our monsters are. So we're going to draw one at a time, and each is going to indicate either front or back. A little hard to see, but here we go. It's a Spitter Beast back. And if it's back, you put them in the furthest right spot they can fit. If it's front, you put them in the furthest left spot. So sometimes you'll end up with a mismatch if they come out late. But that's only good for us. We got a Bone Soldier in the front, Unholy. I think my Crusader person has a bonus against that. A Pliskin, it's like a snake beast, front. And last, a Cultist Acolyte in the back. So unfortunately, they kind of got their preferred placements. Now, why do these placements matter? For us and the enemies, is going to affect initiative order. You shuffle a deck of 8 initiative cards, 4 for the heroes, 4 for the enemies. And when you draw the first one, you activate the first person in the line, or the first person in the line. And then when you draw the second one, third one, fourth one, or second, third, fourth. So basically, the lines go backwards. And also for the enemies, it's going to affect which AI they use. Generally speaking, they have a nastier AI in the position they want to be in. So the fact that the Bone Soldier and the Pliskin are in the front spots, and the fact that the Cultist and the Spitter are in the rear spots, probably all bad for me. And you know what else is bad for me? Having to track down all the miniatures for these guys, but I think I got them. So we've got Bonesaw and the Spitter, or Splitter, or whatever. No, Spitter. Okay, he's a spitting poison spider. They're right there on the altar. Snake Pliskin is over here. Oh, that is a Snake Pliskin joke. I thought I was being clever. That's the game, Mike. Good job. And then the Cultist Acolyte is over here. And that is it for setup. I'll show you how a hero turn works and how an enemy turn works when it happens. And it looks like first it's going to be enemies. So I'm going to put this near or on the Bone Soldier because they will not activate, even if they get moved, which can happen through effects and things later or earlier in the turn order. You're not going to see that. Oh, wait, I forgot. This is important. We have a treasure chest here and a treasure chest here. If we can get to those, good things will happen. All right, so Bone Soldier. They're level 1 monster, 0 dodge. They are immune to bleeding for obvious reasons, resistant to nothing. They only have 1 movement, 7 health to kill him. And here are the 2 activations. If he is in the first 3 slots, he's going to use Graveyard Slash. If he's in the back, he's going to use Graveyard Stumble, which would be much better for us, but he's not going to do that. So Graveyard Slash. Okay, now this shows who it's going to target, which is the most wounded character, and it's a range 1 attack, which means they want to be in a space next to us, and it affects a single hero. If there are more icons here, it would affect multiple people. And it's pretty nasty. If they get a crit, which is a 1, they'll hit on a 9. With their accuracy 9, now we still have our bonus to dodging from light, they'll do 5 damage. Neither of those is great. And the most wounded currently, this is a bit of a table hog, is the Highwayman with 4. So Skelly McSkellerson wants to get within 1 range of him. Now, when everything is equal here, like it is with the 2B spaces, he can go in either one. The number of dots is how many people can fit in there, so I'm just going to have him go to the one with more spaces. There we go. Or actually, no, I'm not, because the Crusader has a bonus against undead, and that's a little better for him because he's right there. Now he resolves the attack against the Highwayman on a 1, 9 damage. The Highwayman has 1 dodge, and we have the bonus from the light, so on a 7, 5 damage. It's not going to 1 again, okay? 4, so that is 5 more damage to the Highwayman. Gives them 9 total, 3 from death. Woo! Now, very important note, if they had not been able to get into range of the Highwayman, then they would have still moved, but they would have skipped their entire rest of their turn. So that is very nice when it happens. Ooh, and they are standing on the Spike Pit at the end of their turn. 3 damage. Unfortunately, the bleeding effect they are immune to, so all that happens is 3 damage. All right, next initiative. Oh, God. I hope we don't just die right away. Here we go. Although this is our snaky boy, and he's kind of far away. He's got 1 dodge, 9 health, 2 movement. He's resistant to poison, which means whenever he would get poison, he gets 1 less token, so it lasts 1 less round. And he is doing a Venomous Gleek. That is disgusting. Against the furthest hero. He wants to move 2, and no, it's range 2, and he wants to move 2. So furthest here, I imagine that's going to be the Vestal, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And by the way, ties are broken by how far forward you are in the formation. So if, I don't know, the Hellion and the Highwayman and the Vestal had all been tied, they would have gone for the Hellion, who is the most forward in our formation. But here, going for the Vestal, and I think they're not going to hit, right? 1, 2. Yay, they're not within 2 range of her, so they don't do anything else. That's it. There is no, like, attacking somebody else. Thank God. That is all that happens. All right, let's see if there's a mockery of Mike shuffling. Yay, a hero gets to activate. Let's see how that works. So it's going to be the Crusader, frontmost in our formation. And on a hero's turn, they get to take 2 actions. The main ones are moving and using an ability. Moving means they can move as far as their foot characteristic, which for the Crusader is 1. It's not great when there's a spiked pit traps right in front of you, is it? And for action use, an important thing to note is if you use an action and hit with it, you cannot use that same action. You have to use a different one for your second action that turn if you don't want to move or do something else. But if you miss with it, you can use the same action again. Some other major actions, if you get onto a treasure chest, you can take an action to open it. And that is the only way you will get it. You only have 4 rounds in the combat. The second that the last monster is killed, I guess reinforcements come and you have to run away. So you can't get the treasure chest in that case. So you have to get them before the monsters all die. And the other action, if you feel the need to use it, is to swap spot with somebody adjacent to you. Right now I'm in good spot, but we could do that if like an enemy used a push or pull effect to mess with our ranking order. All right, let's look at our Crusader a bit more. 0 dodge, not great. 17 life, heck yeah. 1 movement, not good. They are resistant to stuns. They'll be stunned for less time. No immunities. They have a Hamlet skill. We can ignore that until we get back to the Hamlet. And let's check out what a hero skill looks like. So, Smite, what do we got here? First of all, what positions you can use it in. You'll see that for the Crusader, I picked all ones that are in the front 2 spots, although their Inspiring Cry they can use anywhere. Then you've got, kind of like the monsters, the range, who it targets, in this case a single monster, a single hero. This is a positive effect. 2 monsters with that one, but they have to be in the exact same area. Everything has to target somebody in the exact same space. The crit and accuracy and damage, that's all the same as the monsters. God, this does a lot of damage. And then they sometimes have bonuses. Like this one is +1 versus Unholy. So if I hit that skeleton, it would do 8 damage instead of 7. And by the way, any abilities that are like this, the little like arrow going down and to the right, that only activates if you hit. Or in the case of Inspiring Cry, where it always activates, it just activates at the end of the ability. So in this case, it heals 1, subtracts 1 stress, and adds 1 light to 1 hero. But then to show you a different ability, this is the Hellions If It Bleeds ability. And in this case, as long as you hit, so that's the key thing. You don't activate these abilities unless you hit. As long as you hit, you would also put on 2 bleeding for 2 turns. They would take a total of 4 bleeding damage over the course of 2 turns. Now, some cards like the Vestal's Divine Comfort here also have a self ability or any kind of ability pointing to the left. That means it happens before the ability, the rest of the ability activates. It happens regardless of whether you hit or not. So she heals herself before she does this group healing thing. All right, so in this case, I don't really have much desire to have my Crusader jump into the spikes and start bleeding and getting punctured. So I think I'm just going to use my 1 range Zealous Accusation ability on the Skelly. Now, it could hit 2 people, but sadly that is not possible. So on a 0 crit, no chance until you have a crit bonus, which I don't, I will do 9. But as long as I get a 9 or less, I'll do 5 damage because the skeleton has 0 dodge stat. So I can only miss on a 10. And here we go. Beautiful. We hit. So Skelly takes 5 damage. Only had 7. They took 3 from the spikes, so they are dead. And that means immediately all of the monsters fill the spot. You can never have gaps in your line. And additionally, not right now, but at the end of the round, for each monster that's there, we're going to take out one of the initiative cards. So they'll only get 3 activations, 1 for each monster next round, which means we have a better chance of going earlier. We love that. All right, the Crusader sells another action, but I don't want to move up. So I think I'll do the Inspiring Cry. Or actually, you know what? I've got a better idea, I think. I can fit 3 people in this space, and the Vestal has an ability that heals up to 3 people in a single area at range 1. So I'm thinking if I move in here for my second action, first of all, I'm bringing more monsters to the same space to get some combined fire, but also it'll give me better healing capability for everybody. All right, next we have another hero, the Hellion. Hellion has 2 movement, lovely for getting over spikes. She's got her Barbaric Yop, good job Dead Poet Society, hits up to 2 people in her space, accuracy 10, and stuns them for a turn. That's awesome, which means they just skip their next turn. She also got Wicked Hack, 12 damage on a crit, or 7 on an accuracy 9 hit. And then if it bleeds, I already showed you a little bit less damage, but more damage over time. And that one's range 1. Cool. Now, she is losing a token at the start of her turn. This is a buff token. That means that all of her crit values are 1 higher while she has it for each one. Now, you know, the Spitter only has 5 life. I feel like she should just jump up and whack the guy. Don't y'all think? So sure, let's go 1, 2, get right over the spikes. It only hurts us if we get pushed or pulled into it or if we stay on it. Yeah, because the snake already went, so I care more about hitting this guy. And since she's at range 0, I'll use Wicked Hack. I need a 9 or more to hit, but the spider has 1 dodge, so I need an 8 or more. And that works. 8. Okay. It was 7 damage. Spitter has only got 5. So bye-bye, Spidey. All right, that was 2 actions. Move and attack. What is next? Oh, now the Cultist Acolyte is up. So that's the only monster left. A nice thing is we still have a 4th monster card, but it's going to be wasted this round because we don't have another monster to activate. All right, so what's this guy do? Got 1 dodge, 9 life, 3 move. Good lord. Resistance is to debuffs, which make it easier to crit on people. So both help with crits, buffs and debuffs, except the debuff is when you're targeting somebody. And wow, he's got a lot. Okay. Oh, so we roll based on where he is. And if he was in the front, looks like he'd have a better chance for certain results. But because he's in one of these 3 back spots, he's in the shield one, we're going to roll a die, 1 to 4, 5 to 7, 8 through 10. This happens every time he activates a 5. This seems bad, because only these spots let him roll the 2 result, and you can't possibly get it here, which makes me think it's the worst one. So he's going to go for the furthest character, moving 3, and he's going to, oh no, he's going to pull them. Oh, but 2. Okay, that's not as bad. Pulling 1 would have got us on a spike. 2 should be okay. So furthest character from him. Oh, there's like a corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Oh, so it's all equal, which means the Crusader is going to win the tie raffle. Hey, that's kind of cool. They're going to pull the Crusader right over the spikes. Thanks, buddy. So they can move 3, 1, 2. They can move up to 3. So 1, 2, and they're actually going to stop there and not go onto the healing thing. I like that because they're already within 2 range. All right, an Eldritch Pull. So on a 1, they'll do 2 damage. On a 9 or less, they'll do 1 damage, although Crusader has no dodge in himself, but the light will make it an 8. And then Pull 2. This is actually a pretty interesting effect, pull and push. I'll show you how it works after we roll. Of course, if he misses, the pull will never happen, but he didn't. That's not a crit either. So it's only a single damage, not much doing there. And then what the pull effect does is it pulls me up to 2 towards him, or 2 in this case, exactly 2. I don't know why I'm saying up to 2. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think the intention is that by going through the spikes, even though we didn't end there, it does say pulling or pushing through them, we take the 3 damage. So he's got 6 total. I'm taking away 2 for that. And he's also got 3 time 1 bleeding. So he's going to get 3 tokens. And at the start of each turn, he's going to discard 1 and take 1 damage until they're all gone. So yeah, not necessarily great. Not necessarily great. Now, there's one more thing with pulling and pushing that's actually not going to do anything this time. But when a character is pulled, in addition to the number of spaces they are pulled, they're also pulled that many in the order, swapping with people in front of them. So pulling pushes you closer to the front. Pushing pushes you further to the back. So the Crusader got pulled twice. In this case, does nothing. But let's say the Highwaymen had been hit. Boom, we'd have this new order, and suddenly they wouldn't be able to use some of their abilities, and then they wouldn't have to waste actions swapping back around. But yeah, here we were lucky. Usually with the farthest, he probably wants to hit somebody like the Vestal hanging out in the back, but it's not going to matter. We got 3 cards left. Don't really need to worry about drawing them because we know that there's 2 heroes and a worthless fighting one. We're going to discard that for the Spider. They'll only have 2 cards next turn. So let's do the Highwayman first. Our nearly dead Highwayman, I should call him. So he's resistant to stun like the Crusader, 1 dodge, 12 health, 2 movement. He's got Grape Shot Blast. This hits up to 3 enemies in the same space, 0, so his space or 1 away. And he has 0 crit, but on an 8 or less, he does 3 damage each of them, and he debuffs each of them, which means at the start of their turn, it'll go away. It's only 1 token, but if anybody attacks them in between, they'll have +1 crit against them. Pistol Shot is a very basic 1 to 2 range attack, and it does extra damage versus marked people. I just realized I took this and have no way to mark anybody, so that's a poor combo, Mike. And then Open Vein, 9 or 5 damage, 0 range, but makes people bleed a lot. All right, now I'd like to get the treasure chest and have time to heal, which makes me think I should kill the Pliskin, who's dealing more like straight up real damage, and then leave the Cultist Acolyte alive for a little bit. So to that end, I think I'm even going to have the Vestal like jump on the spikes just for fun. So that you can actually heal people. So I think I'm going to have the Highwayman go here. Or should you just go here? Because then he'll be within 1 move of that treasure chest over there. Sure, he'll go here. We'll just make healing a little bit tougher for the Vestal. And then he'll go and use his Open Veins ability. So he has an accuracy of 10. Snake's got 1 dodge, so he could miss on a 9, or sorry, a 10, but he hits. And that's 5 damage on the Snake. And 2 turns of 2 bleeding, which will be enough after both turns to kill the Snake. So if the snake goes first, he'll take 2 damage from the bleeding, be it 7 damage, 1 bleed away from death, and he'll attack us, and then at that point we can ignore him and just let him stay on the board because he'll die automatically from the next bleed. But hopefully we still get to go before him with us having 4 cards at 2 and shoot him first. All right, now we go to round 2. The battle ends automatically after 4 rounds, and if you haven't defeated all the enemies at that point, technically you failed the battle, so you don't clear the room. That's not good. We want to not make that happen. All right, let's see who's first. It's one of us. Yay. So the Crusader is there. He could try to kill the cultist, but he doesn't want to. He wants to get Snaky Boy over here. So he's going to use 1 action to move to get within 1 range, and another to use that same Zealous Accusation. It's a 9 accuracy decrease to 8 by the snake's dodge. No! Okay, we missed. That's sad. So nothing else happens for that turn. And then the snake goes. Well, at least we can say he's dead to us, because he bleeds for 2, down to 7 life. Or I should say 7 damage with 2 life left. And then what's he doing? He's in the front, so he's doing 2. Infuse. Oh my gosh. He does the closest, which is the the Crusader on his space. And, he's attacking for... he's going to make him bleed. Or not bleed, poison. That's not great. That's not great at all. The Crusader has no dodge, but we have the 1 from the lights. We need a 10. We need a 10. Nope. Okay, it's a hit. So that's 4 more damage on the Crusader, bringing him to 10 damage. And actually 11, because I forgot to bleed him the first time. And then he has 6 damage of poison coming. Although we might have to use our potion. You can discard a potion at any time to get rid of all poison tokens on a character. You can discard a bandage at any time to get rid of all bleeding on a character. Yeah, not even much point in waiting. Let's get rid of all of the poison, because that's ridiculous. All right, and next, really? The cultist? Come on, there were 3 cards of ours left. Oh, well. All right, cultist, we're rolling for him. I wanted them to be in the front, so they would not be able to do their whatever it is. Okay, Stressful Incantation. They're targeting the most stressed. Who's the Crusader? They're going to attack. And cause a stress and subtract a light. They did hit, so he's taking 1 more damage. He's at 12. He gains a stress, and our light level goes down. But again, both the Vestal and the Crusader have a way to raise that back up, so I'm not too worried about that. Oh, geez. Did I just totally forget to move the Vestal? I shouldn't have dealt out all the cards at once. Okay, so what was I going to do with the Vestal? They were both here where they are currently. So I was going to have her move 1 onto the spikes and then use her Divine Comfort ability to heal both the people 1 away from her. It heals up to 3 people in a space. On a crit, she'll heal them for 3. And by the way, I haven't said this because we haven't really gotten any, right? We haven't? Oh, no, we did get a crit from the trap against the Highwaymen. When you suffer a crit, you gain 1 stress, and everyone in your space gains 1 stress. I think that's right. And when you deliver a crit, even in a healing crit, you lose 1 stress and everybody in your space loses 1 stress. And the designer did clarify on Facebook, I was checking this out, that a healing crit against your friends does not make them get stressed out, as silly as that would be. But yeah, okay, I gave the Highwayman an extra stress for the trap thing that he had suffered. But yeah, so she's going to try to heal them all. She heals herself for 2, which is all her current damage. She's about to get more from the spikes, but she'll get off of them as quickly as she can. And then let's roll. And people's dodge do apply. That's why healing spells tend to have a ton of accuracy. So you still get, yes, crit. So she's going to get -1 stress. And 3 healing to both the Crusader and the Hellion. So that makes me feel a lot better. Okay, now let's go into our turns for the current round. That was in the past, before the Crusader got attacked all those times. Okay, so that's going to be the Hellion. Now, at this point, the snake's going to die on his own. So we just got to kill the guy over here, but I don't really want to do it until we're ready. But here's what I think the Hellion is going to do. She's going to move here for her first action. Then she's going to yelp at the guy for the second action, just stunning him so he doesn't do anything to us on his next turn. Unless I roll a 10, of course, because of his dodge. I didn't. So he is stunned, which will happen on round 3, and won't get to activate at all. That's beautiful. But now she's also within 2 moves, 1-2, of getting the treasure chest. So next turn she can go 1-2 open for her 2 actions, and we'll get that. Okay, next is the Highwayman. He knows the snake is already dead, so he's going to go 1-2 and open. And this is we get a provision die, and the arrow down means we get to place it on the side of our choice. I think I'm going to choose another torch, because I am worried now that we're down to only 1 if we get more of those silly curio rooms. And then the Vestal, who, by the way, did get 3 damage and 3 bleeding when she ended on the spikes. So you can use your first action moving off the spikes. And where does she want to go? I guess she'll go here. Or no, you know what? She'll go here, because she wants to heal the Crusader. Now, she could use Divine Grace that has 0 to 1 range and heals more on 1 person. But now that she's also bleeding, she's going to use the same one she used last time and heal up to 3 people in a space, 1 adjacent. Now, it's not a miss, even with the negative. She heals 2 automatically before she uses it. And with the roll she had, she also heals 2 from the Crusader. That is the end of round 2. Let's go to round 3. Oh, I forgot I had +1 crit for everybody. I don't think that applied at all. And I don't have +1 dodge. I feel like that might have mattered, but hopefully not. All right, initiative's not going to matter too much here because when we draw the Pliskin's initiative, he's going to die from his bleeding. And when we draw the Cultist Acolyte initiative, he's going to be stunned. So we did get unlucky again, but 2 bleeding immediately kills this guy. So that was a fun activation, wasn't it, Snaky? And there we go. Now, all the rest is going to be us, except for when he gets unstunned. Our Crusader, not much question, is going to use Inspiring Cry on himself first. I think you can target yourself. So he's going to heal 1, get rid of 1 stress, and increase the light level back to 5. And the healing 1 cancels out the 1 he lost from the bleeding. And then for his second one, we don't want to kill the Acolyte yet, but we might as well get him close. So he's going to do another Zealous Accusation. So if he rolls an 8 or less with the 1 dodge, he'll do 5 damage. Oh my gosh. Okay. Nope. A lot of 10s today. All right, and here we go. Heroes. That's the Hellion, as planned. 1, 2. That was the first action. And all right, we can either get a provision die, rolling it, or get a d10 worth of gold. I'm going to go for the provision die, because we need those to not be dead. Not to, another torch, okay. All right, and then it's us again. That's the Highwayman. He just wants to move back to where he can get healed, which means right smack there, I think. Okay, and then there's the Acolyte getting unstunned. And finally the Vestal. And here's where she's going to shine, double heal in time. So first she takes another damage from her second to last bleeding, but then she's going to, there it is, Divine Comfort. That'll heal herself 2 and heal both the Crusader and the Highwayman, hopefully a lot. Let's see how that goes. Ooh, a crit! She's already at 0 stress, so she doesn't gain any bonus from that, but she heals herself for 2 automatically. She's healing each of them for 3, beautiful. They're still not looking great, but that's way better than they were. Then for her second action, she's going to use Divine Grace just on the Highwayman. He's the most wounded. So 3 will heal him 5, and then just a regular hit will heal him 3. Wow, another crit. Again, she can't benefit from it, but he certainly can. He's almost completely healed. Woo, Vestal! Takes us in round 4. We've almost healed all the way, so now we kind of want to go before the Acolyte and smash him. And we do get the chance. Crusaders first. All right, Crusader's going to use Inspiring Cry on himself again. That'll heal away the 1 damage he took from his bleeding. So he's at 4 life, or 4 damage out of 17. So he's doing pretty well. He's also brought his stress down to some invisible number. I think that's the second space. And he would have increased the light, but no need. And then he'll do a Zealous Accusation against the guy again. He hits this time for 5 damage. The Acolyte has 4 left, but he ain't dead yet. Let's see. Ooh, there we go. Hellion gonna go to Hellia on you. That didn't really work, did it? And she's gonna run back. Do a wicked hack. Just needs an 8 to kill him. And, ooh, a 1. And we don't have a plus to critting. Yeah, sorry, she had this, but it should have gone away a while ago. Ooh, wait, wicked hack is crit 1. Awesome. So 12 damage doesn't matter, but it does push her stress down to 0. It would have done it for the Acolyte as well, since she was in the same space, if that had mattered. So this is great. We're almost fully healed, except for the Crusader. He's done bleeding. She still has, the Vestal still has 1 bleeding for when it comes back to her. And we're almost stress-free, too. Nice job, everybody. Because that was a treasure room, we get 20 gold. All right. All right, I think I might show you one more fight and then kind of fast forward to the Hamlet phase to show you how things go. But let's go ahead. I guess I can scout first, and if that place is terrible, I can just backtrack to there for 1 stress. That sounds like the way to go. So 1 stress for everybody. Ah, awesome. This is the darkness room. I get literally no benefit for going there. I can't even clear it away, and it would lower our light level. So we're just going to backtrack for another stress. We don't roll any dice when we do that. So we did, in a way, waste a stress to scout, but it meant that we didn't have to suffer much negative. And you know what? Stress recovery seems pretty good for this party. So let's go ahead and take another stress to scout before we go into that room, simply for the purpose of only rolling 1 black die each. All right, Crusader first. That's the 1 stress and 1 damage. Yeah, we'll just take it. And again, just to say again, I would technically be rolling simultaneously, so I would know it was coming, but I just didn't want to deal with that many dice. Okay, 1 stress and 1 damage for the Hellion. Okay. Highwayman, nothing. And Vestal, light. Now, we'll just let the light level go down 1 and keep our torches, because we can get it right back up with either of their light abilities. Hey, that was fast. I promised 1 more battle. You're going to get it. So normally, when you go into a curio room, you would roll a die. You have a 50% chance of not fighting at all and just getting a curio card, and you have a 50% chance of having a battle. But the Rising Threat one said you automatically have a battle, and we're going to get 1 level 2 monster. I mean, first or last? I don't know. I guess I'll just mix it in and see what happens. And normally you would get a Curio after fighting or not fighting in the room, but because of the taken away, I'll get nothing. So this is just a basic combat room, but I have one monster that is tougher than normal. This time we're going to be in the Temple of the Ancestor, tile number 7. So there's going to be a green space, Ancestor's Glories. Heroes standing here are immune to all negative effects, and they remove any of these effects if already applied. That's pretty awesome. I think they're trying to reference, Gimli standing on Balin's, tomb in Moria, maybe? I don't know. Yo, why is the Crusader by himself over here, people? That's not cool. And like I said, I've drawn 3 random level 1 monsters and 1 level random level 2 monster. I'm not sure if that's what you're supposed to do, but that's just how I'm reading it. Let's see how things pan out. Brigand Cutthroat likes to be in the front. Bringing on Brigand. Cultist Brawler. Oh, different type of cultist. Wants to be in the front as well. Bone Courtier wants to be in the back. This must be our level 2. Bone Spearman. Ooh, wants to be on the front. Okay, good. So they're theoretically using their weaker ability. Although, God, is it really weaker? Wait a second. They do way more damage. Oh, God, they hit everyone in a space with their second ability. They only hit one person, but they push them. Different place in the order. They do 8 damage. They have 15 life? Okay, level 2 monsters are no joke, are they? Maybe I shouldn't have picked the quest that forces me to fight them. And once again, nobody was seated during the mic is trying to find all these dang miniatures. It's actually pretty well organized, and they have a guide to which ones go where. And I think they look nice. I'm not a big mini person, as many of you know, but these are not the worst ones I've seen. Pretty fun, art style. All right, this fight is stressing me out a little bit. Spearman's on the bow spot. Claw Brawler dude is on my Ancestors spot, along with Drunken Skeleton. And Angry Thief is over here. We got a treasure chest, and we got a treasure chest, and that seems to be it. Remember, that's going to help us with all the conditions. Let's go, everybody. So first, the monsters. Mr. Brigand Cutthroat. Wow, 2 dodge, resistant to poison. Only moves 1, 8 life, and he's in the front, so he's going to roll. 1 to 4 will be Uppercut Slice. 5 to 10 will be Slice and Dice. Don't know which one I want yet. 8, Slice and Dice. So that's 1 range. He's going to the most crowded space. Oh, this is not good. So he's going to Slice and Dice. Wait, is this him? No, that's not him. Oh, actually, this is great. So he only moves a single space. He wants to get to the most crowded space, which is over there, to attack 2 of us. And that's all he does, because he, again, does not switch targets. Until he reaches us, he doesn't care. So that, didn't mind that at all. Oh, another monster. Cultist Brawler. A lot of health. 2 move. Okay. He is here. So he's rending for the old gods. He wants to go to the closest. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, no. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so he's going to go say hi. He does fit in here. He's the 4th figure. I believe if it's full, the monsters push out heroes, but I'll have to check that. Oh, no, actually, he stops 1 short. He has 1 range for Rend for the Old Gods. And he's going to pull them toward himself. And he's attacking the Hellion, so she's actually going to move to the front, and the Crusader will be in the 2nd position. Interesting. Oh, and God, what does this do? Bleeding for 3 turns, debuff for 2 turns, +1 stealth. Okay, she might want to get to that Ancestor spot as quick as she can, I'm thinking. She sadly does not have +1 dodge at the moment, because we don't have 5 light. Oh, wait, 9. Is that a miss? That is a miss! Ha 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 ha! You suck. Ooh, now he does pull himself 1 before the attack regardless. So this means that he is first and the Brigand is second. And it means that he's right in here with us. Hey, might be good if we can get a bunch of big attacks on him quickly. Okay, next, us. That's the Crusader. Yeah, the Crusader being slow as heck is not the best thing in the world here. But we'll go to move up and attack this guy. With luckily, all of our abilities can be used from 1st or 2nd spot, so it doesn't matter that he got moved back. Oh, no, that's right. I didn't get moved back. The other guy moved. Smite. Going to be actually 9. This guy is 2 dodge, so a 7 or less to do 7 damage. +1 versus Unholy. Unfortunately, he's not, so he'll have a single life left. That's a bummer. That's assuming I hit, which, I think it was a miss, right? That was a miss. Oh my gosh. I'm having terrible luck. That's it for Crusader Boy. Next is Hellion. I was thinking I might have her do her Yawp on the Brawler, but he is resistant to stun, which means he would get 1 less token. And since there are only 1 token from her Yawp, it would be useless. Ooh, but you know who is not Yawp-proof? The Spearman. Yeah, I'm thinking she runs in here, Yawps that boy. On the next turn, gets a treasure chest and Yawps him again. And we'll just leave the other people to do cleanup until we can finish him off, because he is so nasty. So yeah, we'll do that. 1, 2. She's the only one who can fit in here with him. He does have 1 dodge. Even with 10 accuracy, she could miss. But no, but unfortunately, I think, yeah, there is no crit for this one, so he's just stunned. Well, I say just, but I'm very happy about him not doing his like 8 or 10 or whatever ridiculous amount of damage it was. Okay, but the Highwayman is first, and he's definitely going to try to just kill this guy. Open Vein only does 5 damage, but with 2 bleeding for 2 turns, that's going to be 9 out of the Cultist 11 by the time it finishes up. All right, and that is just a regular hit. Oh, that's right, the crit is 0, so never mind. So that's 5 damage, and he be bleeding. And then let's see, you could do a Grape Shot Blast to do 3 more damage and then make him easier to crit. 3 more damage would get him to 8, and then his bleeding would do 2 more. And then, ooh, I guess the Vestal can move 1 away for her first action and Dazzling Light the guy for her second. The stun would be useless, but the flame would get our Torchlight back up, and the 2 damage would be enough with the bleeding to finish the guy off. I like all of that, so yeah, we'll go ahead and Grape Shot Blast and not move with the Highwayman yet. He does need, this guy's 0 dodge, right? Yeah, so he needs a, that's good. Okay, so 3 damage. So that's again 8 plus he's bleeding, so he's about to be at 10 when he activates. So he only really has 1 life left in a way. And when the Vestal goes, she'll take care of that. All right, that was the Spearman, and he's just stunned. Mwahaha. Oh, but there's the Courtier. I don't even know what the heck he's doing. He's in the back, so he's doing action 1. Tempting Goblet. Oh gosh. Most stressed. He wants to get within range 2 of them. That's currently our friend, this guy. So he's already within range 2, so he just stays. What is he doing? He's going to hit automatically. Oh, no, that's for, oh yeah, light's not up yet. Oh, he's just going to raise their stress and do a little bit of damage. I mean, that's not the best thing in the world, but it's not the worst. Yep, so 3 damage and some more stress. Of course, the Crusader is all by himself down there, and now only 3 away from getting a card, so that's not great. All right, and last card is our Vestal. She's going to do the plan. Move here, because she be slow, but then she's going to Dazzling Light. She'll actually crit on a 2 now because of the debuff from the Grape Shot Blast. That's not it, but she will do 2 damage to the guy, so he's not dead yet, but he will die on his activation, which is great for us, because it's going to waste their first drawn card. And she gets the light back up. All right, now we go into round 2, and a monster is first. That is the Cultist Brawler. And he realizes he's bleeding, but he's too late. He is dead. Get out of here. You never even hit us. All right, and then, okay, it's the Crusader. Unfortunately, he has no way to kill the Cutthroat, because he can only do up to 7 damage to him. He has no way to kill the Courtier, because he could move one and then do like his little blast. So yeah, I think I'm just going to have him attack the Cutthroat, and then he is right next to his treasure chest. So we'll do Smite again, but I didn't like missing. So let's use his Warrior's Resolve, or Warrior's Bracer. So he's going to get +2 accuracy, so it's going to be an 11 minus 2 dodge, so he'll only miss on a 10. But then again, to use, get it back to its good side, he'd have to do -1 accuracy on a future attack. So please don't roll a 10. That's good. So this guy has 1 life left. And then for his second action, he'll go and do an Inspiring Cry and counteract the the stress effect of the Courtier. So he's going to heal 1 automatically and get 1 stress back. Not quite breaking even, but I'll take it. All right, next up is the Brigand. And, ooh, I just realized since there's no most crowded spot anymore, he's going to be attacking the Crusader. That's not great. A 10. What is that? That is Slice and Dice. So he wants to be at range 1. I guess I'm going to move him toward everybody else. And he's got 8 accuracy, so with my 1 dodge from light, he needs a 7. He hits. He does not crit, so it's 4 damage, which means the Sad Crusader is at 11 out of 17. And he gets debuff for the next 2 turns, which means people attacking against him would have +1 of their crit stats. That was lovely. No! Oh no, the Bone Spearman! I didn't get a chance to stun him! Okay, so he's rolling for what he does. 6 is 1. Spear Thrust. Closest 0 spaces. That is the Hellion. She gonna get Hellion hurt. But, ooh, she has 1 dodge and +1 from the light. 7 or higher. Give me a 7 or higher. That's a... Oh, okay, there we go. Bad rolling to help me out for once. So he didn't push her. He didn't do 8 damage. He didn't do anything. We're gonna stun you, buddy. You suck. All right, and then that's the Hellion. And yep, she's going to do her yelp. She needs to not get a 10, so he is stunned. And then she could open the treasure chest, but now she's going to do her Wicked Hack. Needs an 8 to hit for 7 damage. There we go. Ooh, 1 more and she would have gotten a crit. I should have used the first roll for her and done more damage. So that's 7 out of the guy's 15. He's actually already almost half dead, so that's pretty nice, especially with him being stunned. Oh, and then we go again, the Highwayman. All right, so he's over here. I want to kill this guy or start finish off that guy. He hasn't activated yet, though. So let's certainly move 2. And then the only close range attack he can do is Open Vein, which will do 5 damage but won't kill the courtier because he's a skeleton and is immune to bleeding. So instead he's going to do his pistol shot on this friend. But he needs a 7 or lower to hit because of the guy's high dodge. Got it. He's dead. Get out of here. All right, and then it is the Vestal, so the Bone Courtier will be last. Ooh, what the heck? Let's use Blinding Light and try to stun the guy, right? Does he have any dodge? He does have 1 dodge, so she could miss, but she didn't. So she'll stun him 1, do 2 damage, and raise our light level up. That part doesn't matter. Now, for a second action, honestly, she's just going to walk towards the Crusader who's so hurt because otherwise that guy's going to die. So, yes, then the Bone guy activates, but he's stunned, and we go to round 3. I'll just show you the situation. Bone Spearman's got 7 out of 15 and stunned. Courtier has only 5 life left, not stunned, but first is the Crusader. And yeah, we'll leave the treasure chest gathering to our faster friends. We've got to get to that cleric for healing. So he'll run up to here. Then he'll do a Zealous Accusation. That'll be enough to finish off the courtier if it hits, which it does. So you are zealously j'accuse, sir. Get out. All right, and then that is the Bone Spearman who is stunned, so nothing happens. So then it's just going to be Hellion, then Highwayman, then Vestal. I won't have time to get the last treasure chest, so the Hellion, will do her attack on him again. Now I don't want to roll a 1 because that would kill him. Oh, I think it's a miss, though. Yep, that misses. Now she'll try to stun him, and that hits, so he is stunned. But he's got 8 life left, so we got to do something about that. So the Highwayman, he runs, well, crud. You gonna be able to kill everybody? Ooh, I got it. Highwayman can shoot him from 2 away with his pistol shot. Gosh, darn it. Okay, maybe he can't. So never mind, we're giving up that treasure chest for dead. Highwayman's going to go here to make sure he has 2 attack options next turn on the guy. Okay, and then Vestal's going to do a double healing on this. One of them will heal herself. This is the one that can heal him up to 3. No crits, so just 2 healing. And then the one can heal him up to 5 on a crit. Ooh, which it is. So that's 7 healing in total. When I wonder, does that mean that it's easier for me to heal him because he's debuffed? Maybe. But either way, I did... Oh, I got a crit. So she gets 1 thing back. 1 stress. And yeah, he's at 4 life. Okay, so we just have 1 round left to kill the guy. And try to get the treasure chest. And since he's stunned, it doesn't really matter. So we'll just go ahead and say he takes his turn and gets unstunned. So Crusader first. Only thing useful he can do is use his healing ability on himself. One of these goes away. He heals 1. And he's got 1 less invisible stress. Okay, Hellion's going to open the treasure chest first, and then she'll stab him. Oh, D10 times 2 gold. We get, wow, 2 gold. Yay. Okay, and then she's going to try to kill him. Oh, God, that's a miss. No! Oh, my gosh. Okay, so that's okay. Highwayman's next. He needs a pistol shot first. 8 to hit. Okay, got it. So that's 5. Here, we'll just bring it over here. So that's 12 out of 15. Grape shot needs a 7 to hit. That would do the 3. That would be the killing blow. Oh, no. Okay, Vestal. Vestal moves up. And what? Oh, my God. I need a 1 to kill him. All right. I don't really think I got greedy. I just think I got super unlucky. Give me a 1. That's a 9. Is that even a miss? That is a miss. Wow, I didn't even get... Well, that's a good frustrating point to stop. But to show you what would happen, this room would not count as cleared. It wouldn't count for us getting experience. We would have to move away next turn. This is just like a nothing room that then lets us go places. But if we ever come back here, we could fight it again and try to defeat it. Just kind of show you how leveling up works. If we went back to town for 2 experience, that would be from clearing 2 of these rooms. We've cleared 0 of yet. Good job, Mike. We'd be able to spend gold to level up one of our skills to its level 2 version, usually doing more damage or... God, this one is terrible. Doesn't increase the accuracy by 1. It doesn't increase the stun at all. What's level 3 y'all look like? Accuracy 12 and level... Okay. Yeah, I'll talk about this in my review. But balancing, not the game's strong point. But yeah, so you can level up your skills. Or if you save up until you get 4 experience, you can level up your character. They have a level 2 and level 3 version. They get more hit points. They can hold more of the trinkets from 1 to 2 and then from 2 to 3. They gain new resistances and eventually an immunity. That's pretty great. But generally, this skill does not change. So those are the main things. Oh, actually, never mind. The last thing is that they unlock another skill slot. So you can have 4 cards and then 5 cards. Now, does that matter if you're just using the same skills over and over again? Not necessarily, but at least does give you some more options of things to do. So again, that was a bit of Darkest Dungeon. I would still clearly have to play for a little while, but this is about as long as I want to film this one. and I might do a review down the line. But I'll just let you know right now, I love parts of this game and other parts don't like it all. So if I do a full review, I'll go into more detail on that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next step.